Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your
And we're back.
Hi guys.
Welcome to Significant Lovers.
We are your hosts. My name is Mel.
I'm Kel.
And we are two cousins. And this is our 54th episode of Significant Lovers. It's flying by.
It's fall, finally.
October, Halloween
Yes.
season.
Fall is our season for Significant Lovers.
It's the brand.
Yep, it's our brand. It's our thing.
For us, it's fall all year long.
Yep.
But
It
now
is.
it's super fall.
Mel actually went all out for fall. She has
So far.
pumpkins. She bought pumpkin bars, pumpkin bread, maple fudge. What else did you get?
Candles, pumpkin.
We
I
have-
think they're apple cinnamon.
We have cider donut inspired cider right now.
It's so comforting.
It is.
Fall.
I think it's a great time of year to fall in love too.
Well, it's cuffing season. It is.
I never heard of that until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. I mean, even just the other day, I was walking at night and I was like, I really want to cuddle right now. I feel like, honestly, summer can make you like, I don't know if I should say this. It can make you feel
Should
like
always say it.
thirsty in a way. You know what I mean?
I think people are very distracted in summer. I
Yes.
think that's a hard time.
People are
to
busy.
Hard time to start a long-term romance because people go off on vacation and then you
so
never hear
true.
from them again.
Yeah, exactly. But once it starts, the sun starts setting earlier and it's darker, you want to be cozied up inside with
Yes.
somebody and it's colder. You're
Yeah.
less motivated to mingle sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's easier to like not settle, but
Yeah, and you want to do things like go to the movies. and-
exactly.
Yeah, it just feels more romantic too.
Exactly. And in the
Yeah.
summer, you're like sweaty. You feel kind of gross
Yeah,
sometimes. After a date, you're like, don't touch me because I definitely smell right now.
I know. That's true. Yeah, so fall and When Harry Met Sally, that's our thing. That's our
Yes.
inspiration.
You know what? This is nothing to do with the episode. I just rewatched Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, I haven't rewatched it in years.
Yeah, I only saw it that one time with you, and we were both a little underimpressed
We were.
compared to the other two in the big three. You've Got Mail and When Harry Met Sally, but I really did like it upon the rewatch.
I should rewatch it.
Still my least favorite, but
Of the three.
yeah, I would say.
Is there any fall in it? Just wondering.
I would say it's more Christmas.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should watch. I mean, yeah. I've been-
Rosie O'Donnell is in it.
Really?
I
don't
really like her.
remember that.
Yeah.
I like Rosie O'Donnell too.
She's so funny.
so funny. So charming.
Oh my gosh, I love her in A League of Their Own.
Yeah. Well, today, segue into today's couple is a Halloween couple. That was my inspiration for picking this episode. Now, we don't have to do themes with the couples, but I kind of wanted to. And I was thinking, who can I do for Halloween, you know? And I had a couple ideas, but some of them I felt like I couldn't pull off. And I asked my sisters for advice. I was really searching. And Shannon, I think, suggested, what about Neil Patrick Harris and his husband, David Burtka? Reason being, they are super into Halloween.
I love that.
Insanely into Halloween. Every year, their whole family dresses up. All in matching, theme costumes. They're so into it. And they did have a Halloween-related scandal a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
But there is way more to them than that. They're not just about Halloween costumes, but it'll be fun.
But I love that they
Yeah.
share in that passion.
Yes.
I will say there's nothing I hate more than when you go to a Halloween party or a costume party and some people do not give it their all.
Yep.
And I'm sorry if you're one of those people listening, but let's have fun.
Yeah. Does somebody have to give it their all, or you at least want to see?
Dress up.
Just
If
dress
you
up.
don't
Yeah.
dress up, that's my
Yeah.
pet peeve.
I know. I hate that too.
For a themed party,
Ugh.
when people just go in their regular
I know.
clothes, don't come.
I don't like that either.
Yeah. Because you know what? that puts the fear in other people. What if I'm the only one, you know?
Mm-hmm. What about people who do a really lazy one, like, oh, I'm wearing yesterday's outfit or something? Or like, I don't know, like,
No,
I'm dressed as myself.
No, it doesn't count. You didn't wear a costume. Put in a little effort. Like,
Yeah.
people are so afraid to
I know.
be, like, outside the box or to
Not
just
these
be
two.
seen. I love that. I love that.
They are so into themes, throwing parties, dressing up, coming up with games,
So
getting
fun.
everybody involved, like thinking of every possible little thing.
I think those things really strengthen a relationship,
Yeah.
though, when people
Yeah.
are able to be, like, weird together.
Yeah, they definitely are weird together.
Mhm.
It's cute. I never had too much of an investment in Neil Patrick Harris. I hope that doesn't upset
I
anybody.
mean, I've never seen How I Met Your
Yeah.
Mother.
I've seen a little bit of it in my friends. Some of them are into it. I've seen him in a couple random things too.
Yeah, like Gone Girl. Is that what
He's
he's
in Gone
most
Girl.
known for, though? How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
How I Met Your Mother. He also was a teenage star on the show Doogie Howser, but that was kind of before our time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about David Burtka, but I was intrigued. The Halloween costumes, I think, got me interested. And
They've been together a long time.
a wicked
too.
long time. And we haven't yet covered a gay couple with two men,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, we
have
are
had
past due.
we have had a couple with women, but
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
I don't know.
the unfortunate reality, we've said this on the podcast before, is there are not as many high profile gay couples, which is so unfortunate. But I hope that
Yeah.
that changes.
I know. It is shocking. I mean, there are some, obviously, but there's only a couple high profile ones. And I mean, I want to do this show for a long time. So it's like, okay, if we do Elton John, Freddie Mercury, it's like, okay, who's left?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
And there are some others that I am interested in, but I feel like they're kind of obscure, like the guys from 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple, I don't know what you guys think. Like, my sister has recommended some ideas to us, but they're not officially out. They're kind of speculative.
And yeah, I don't know,
I know.
if that is good to cover.
I know. That will come up later in the episode, actually.
Okay.
Because Neil's asked about that. But yeah, so it's been
Mm-hmm.
missing from the couples, the Hall of Flames
Mm-hmm.
so far. But I also thought from the outside, before I did any research, I thought that Neil and David seemed almost perfect.
That's what I think,
And
too.
I thought they seemed boring.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe if you're listening to this, you might be thinking the same thing. But then I started thinking, because I just did, when I first started my research, I found out that Neil had dated women before. And then it was making me think, like, oh man, did he feel like he had to pretend early in his career? Like, that's interesting. We haven't really talked a lot about that.
Yeah, well,
yet.
especially because the characters that he's played, correct me if I'm wrong, like, again, I'm not as familiar with How I Met Your Mother,
Yeah.
but he's been like a notorious womanizer
Yes.
in his roles.
Yeah.
And so I could see, especially in the 2000s, it being risky to be openly out because
Yeah.
that might make his acting less believable to some people.
It's true. A lot of people were concerned about that. But yeah, Neil Patrick Harris was one of the first openly gay actors. There have been a couple others, but they're one of the few long-term gay male couples too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because they've been together 19 years.
Wow. I mean, just by Hollywood standpoint.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Why
I think so.
Sometimes you say something.
Standards?
Standards.
Okay.
Yeah, standpoints.
Standpoint
That's
is
a
a word.
word.
But
Sometimes I say things
Yeah.
and I'm like, that sounds funky. Yeah, that is rare.
yeah.
That's really sweet. So what 3 words would you use to describe them?
I came up with fun,
Love it.
eclectic,
Oh, vocabulary queen over here.
and passionate.
Oof. Okay, all positive.
Yeah, they're all positive. Yeah, we usually end
we're
with a negative
We're
one.
usually like passionate, romantic, Toxic.
Caring, silly, obsessive,
Yeah.
jealous. We always end with the bad one.
Yeah. Okay. I like that it's all positive.
Yeah, but it's not boring, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but who is Neil Patrick Harris?
Love a three name person.
I know, NPH.
Mm-hmm.
We could also call him Neil. I'm gonna switch off.
Wait, I never thought about the fact that his name is Neil.
His name's Neil.
Neil. Like, wait, that is weird.
I know.
Like Sarah Jessica Parker, she's Sarah.
Sarah. I know.
Weird.
I know. To us, he's just Neil Patrick Harris. The reason he goes by Neil Patrick Harris is when this happens all the time. When he was entering the Screen Actors Guild, there was already an actor named Neil Harris. So
Okay.
he just used his middle name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Neil, he's known for Doogie Howser, How I Met Your Mother, Gone Girl. He was recently in a series of Unfortunate Events and many Broadway performances. But before that, he was born June 15th, 1973 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he grew up in Ruidoso, New Mexico with his parents Sheila and Ronald and his older brother. His parents were lawyers who also ran a restaurant. I was puzzled how they had time for that, but then I thought maybe they were lawyers first, then restaurant. I don't know.
Yeah.
But lawyer is a notoriously busy job, and so is owning a restaurant. So
Maybe they owned it, but like they just had like
yeah,
a
maybe
share in it, and they hired other
Yeah.
people to do the day-to-day stuff.
maybe they didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe they had a law degree, but they didn't. Like, you can be a lawyer, but not a practicing lawyer.
Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't investigate it too much because it felt a little bit
Irrelevant.
but let us know. So Neil acted as a child. He was really into plays from a really young age. And then he got a role in the movie Clara's Heart. And he actually earned a Golden Globe nomination at only age 13 for that role. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then he was signed to the show Doogie Howser when he was only a teenager, and it was a national success, a really big show from 1989 to 1993. It's about a teenage doctor who's a genius and becomes a doctor as a teen, but it's also kind of like part doctor show, part coming of age, I would say.
Wow.
Which is weird. I feel like it's kind of like young Sheldon, not as annoying, but doctor, genius.
Yeah.
He was really cute, though. I watched a couple clips and I watched the theme song. He was adorable.
Aww.
Yeah. He had a lot of success from an early age. After Doogie Howser ended, he would have been about 20 years old, and he wanted to avoid being typecast as a precocious, nerdy type. So he sought out different roles. He was in My Antonia. He was in Joan of Arc. He played a book editor in the short-lived TV show Stark Raving Mad. And then he was also in 3 Harold and Kumar movies. And he was in a lot of Broadway shows, including Proof, All My Sons, Rent, and Cabaret. He's a big theater guy. Loves the theater.
I can see that.
Before David, he dated a couple women. He dated the actress Christine Taylor. Apparently Robin Lively, Blake Lively's older sister.
Oh, wow.
I know.
She's married to Coach Bolton from High School Musical.
No way.
Zach's dad, or Troy's dad.
Oh my gosh.
Coach Bolton.
Interesting. And Christine Taylor, that other ex, she's now married to Ben Stiller.
Oh, wow.
And they I think have an interesting relationship.
Yeah,
Her and Ben
weren't they
Stiller.
like going to get divorced, but
Yeah.
then decided against it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe we should look into that.
I know. And he also dated the pianist Carla Bianco. And I read, I almost didn't find this, guys. But then in my research, I came across something about that he had actually dated a man for a little while named Max von Essen, a fellow Broadway star. And it seems like it might be true. I came across it in a couple places. I think it was really under the radar.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm sure he probably did have very formative
Yeah.
relationships with men. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
he didn't, but
But
probably
probably.
secretly. I'm sure there's a lot of
Yeah.
people we've covered whose prior relationships we know absolutely nothing about.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, some people we don't really know anything. So, yeah. I'm sure there's tons of people that we don't know about. Neil is also, besides acting, very into magic. He's an amateur magician.
What? That's so cute.
Yeah, he's really into it. And he likes to collect art, and he writes too. He has written young adult books called The Magic Misfits. About magic, of course.
Oh my God, he must be such a fun dad.
I know, I think he is. He seems somewhat type A to me.
Yeah.
He's very, very ambitious and hardworking. Seems like he likes to be busy. And then our story starts somewhere in the early 2000s when Neil was on Broadway in Cabaret, and at the same time, David Burtka was on Broadway in Gypsy. Okay, David Burtka. Yeah. Who is that?
Who is this guy?
Okay, when I was first starting my research, I kept in my head mistaking him for Justin Bartha. Who's the guy from National Treasure? Plays Riley Poole.
I don't know.
Oh. Guys, come on, right? You know him? Justin Bartha?
Wait, is he the guy from... No, never mind.
He's in The Hangover. He's the guy that... I mean, he's hardly in it, but he's the friend that goes missing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They do look a little alike.
They don't really, but it's just the last name, Burtka and Bartha. I don't know. I literally was calling him Justin by accident at first.
That's so funny.
But it's not Justin Bartha.
But do you ever sometimes call people the wrong name simply because they seem like they would be a different name?
Yeah.
You're like, there's no reason why I'm calling you this name, but you have the essence of this name.
David Burtka was born May 29th, 1975 in Dearborn, Michigan, near Detroit, but he grew up in Canton, Michigan. He's the son of Deborah and Daniel, and he's of Polish descent. He studied acting formally. He went to University of Michigan, and then he attended the William Espers Studios acting school in New York. In 2002, he had a brief role on the show The West Wing, and then he made his Broadway debut in Gypsy in 2003. And I read that before Neil, he dated a guy named Lane Janger, an independent film actor, for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And if this is true, that's kind of crazy because he got with Neil very shortly after this relationship. So he is in it for the long haul when he's in a relationship.
Oh, yeah. He's a long-term dater.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like, I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
It would be honestly traumatic to date someone for 10 years. I mean, people do it. People do it all the time, but that's a decade. Yeah. That's a long time.
He's very like Vanessa Hudgens in that way.
Yes.
If this is true, but goes from decade-long relationship into almost 2 decade-long relationship.
Let me double that. Wait, she really does like say double it. Like she was with Zach for 5 years, so she's like, you know what, I'm going to be with Austin Butler for 10.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's with her next guy for 20.
20 or more than 20. David seems really sweet, really friendly, talkative, outgoing. He loves to host people and bring people together. He loves hosting dinner parties. He's really about the parties, and he gets really over the top with games and themes and name tags and stuff. And
yeah,
he likes to be raunchy too. I think him and Neil both like to be raunchy sometimes. And they have both said that what drew them to each other was that they made each other laugh.
So important. Humor is so important.
They have fun. They have fun together.
Because I feel like in any long-term relationship, you're going to go through so many serious things. And it's so important to be with someone who can still make you laugh.
Yeah, it is really important. Sometimes after a fight, all you need to do is just make a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I mean, sometimes that might be a little annoying at first, but then it's a good time. So Neil talked about first meeting David in Out magazine, and this would have been around 2004. He wrote about it. He said, well, they both wrote about it, actually. This is Neil's part. He said, I ran into my friend Kate one day, and she was with this brooding James Dean type guy in a leather jacket who gave me the head nod and then turned away. I assumed he was Kate's boyfriend and said, nicely done. And then she said, David, he's not playing on my team, but he has a boyfriend. He's told the story many times, and like sometimes he tells it differently. Like sometimes she goes, David, oh, he's totally gay. So depends who he's talking to, I guess. But I don't know what she really said, but it was something like that. So then I just kept seeing him on the periphery and in turn catching up on him, but I didn't want to be that guy who was creating some sort of romantic interference. So I was always around when he was around, hoping the stars would align. When we all hung out for the first time, I was invited by Kate to an American Idol viewing party. I just stammered around him. I couldn't take my eyes off him. And then David said, I've always known I was going to have a monogamous relationship, raise children, and be happy in love. It was the one thing in life that I never doubted for a second. I was in another relationship when I met Neil, and I was doing the long-distance New York to LA thing. It was sort of on the rocks. Long distance is so hard. I was performing in the Sam Mendes version of Gypsy on Broadway when I ran into Neil on the street. He was doing the Mendes version of Cabaret at the time, and I was with a friend who knew him pretty well. I wasn't a big Doogie Howser fan. I'd probably seen it once or twice when I was growing up, so I gave him a, hey, what's up, nice to meet you, and that was really it. I thought it would be nice to know him, but I didn't think in a million years I'd start dating him. Whew, this is a lot of reading. Okay, then David continues. We'd been hanging out with other people and we had a lunch or so, but nothing romantic. I thought he was adorable though, these amazing blue eyes that are just so hypnotizing to me. I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend, and a week later, Neil and I had a date. We went to see a movie. I think it was Taking Lives with Angelina Jolie. Last week's episode.
Everything connects.
I know. We started hanging out every single night, and after 3 months, it was just nonstop. We talk on the phone at least 8 times a day and text at least 25 times a day. We are, in a way, very codependent. He's my lifeline in an amazing way. Without him, I can't breathe. The biggest thing is that he makes me laugh. He's also smart. He can do everything. I'm not kidding. He thinks he's half robot. He makes me a little more grounded, and I bring out the wild side in him. Don't get me wrong, we fight. Our fights last 5 minutes and then we're over it. And we're both Gemini. We have a good twin and a bad twin, and the 4 of us get along really well.
Oh,
I know.
that's cute.
And then, sorry, I have a lot more. This isn't even the whole interview. I thought it was all really interesting how much they were sharing. Then Neil, NPH, said, there's something kinetic about him and his being. He's classically sexy, yet he's very much a boy in his energy. It's a great dynamic. When I see people who are equally attractive, they tend to seem a little more quiet and kind of Marlboro Man-y, and David's the antithesis of that. He's more like Tigger. I'm, in turn, very introspective. The thinker rather than the doer. I tend to weigh the options before making decisions, and David is the polar opposite of that. We're hyper similar and also incredibly opposite. We share a wardrobe. We have the same shoe size, body size, height, and weight.
Cute.
We're both Gemini. We both like the idea of family. Not a nuclear family, but a social family. Yet we're incredibly opposite in the way we process information.
Wait, like Tigger? I think that... Wait, what?
I think he just means that he's energetic.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fun and jumps around.
Okay, that's cute.
Why?
That's
What did you
cute.
think it meant?
I don't know, because I thought for some reason I was getting caught up on like the sexy part.
Oh.
I think that was actually before.
Sexy like Tigger. I don't remember Tigger being sexy.
I mean, who would you say is the sexiest one on that
Winnie
show?
the Pooh?
No, probably
No,
is
it's
Tigger.
in Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, who is it? It's not Eeyore. No. Maybe Rabbit. Is that his name?
I don't remember what Rabbit looks like. Winnie is really sweet, but yeah, not
No,
sexy.
I would not have sex with Winnie.
Yeah, Rabbit. I mean, yeah, I think Tigger might be a sexy.
Tigger probably is. He's probably like really, energetic, and that might not be as fun, that might be like too much. But it depends if you're on his wavelength or not.
Not Piglet.
Piglet, I feel like is not legal.
I know. The
Not
name
Eeyore.
is Piglet.
Eeyore would be the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting anybody?
Well, there's the kangaroo.
Oh, Kanga.
Kanga.
I don't remember what Kanga's like either.
She's a mom. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with moms. Obviously, she's done it.
She's just so sweet.
Yeah.
She's so pure.
Yeah. Tigger probably is the sexiest one. But I'm not sexually attracted to any of them.
No, yeah, we can move on. Neil went on to say that he kind of thought that he was going to be alone the rest of his life.
Oh.
That he never really had a true love by the time he was in his mid-20s. And interestingly, David apparently never felt that way. He was pretty confident he was going to
Interesting.
find someone and have kids.
Yeah.
I've heard this story about how they met a couple of times, and Neil always kind of says that he was slightly stalking David, like, not in a creepy Joe Goldberg way, but
The way everybody does.
Yeah, that he was like purposefully trying to be in the same places as David, and if he heard that he was going to be at this party, then he would definitely go, and he was really into him. But yeah, eventually David and his boyfriend of 10 years broke up, and Neil was around, and they started dating, as they said. David still had stuff back in LA, so I guess they went over there, got his stuff, and then drove across the country back to New York, and then they got an apartment together in Harlem.
Wow.
Oh, very fast. I feel like this was only maybe a couple months in, and Neil said about this, "I initially fell for David harder than he fell for me. I was in love with him before he was comfortable saying it, and I think that speaks to our past experiences. I remember saying, 'I think I love you,' and he was like, 'That's really nice,' which is not necessarily what you want to hear. But I appreciated his honesty in not jumping the gun and saying something because he felt obligated to." And it's cool because, maybe David didn't feel ready in the moment to say it, but clearly he reciprocates his feelings if he says Neil is his lifeline. And
Yeah, exactly.
he can't live without him.
Yeah.
So, it's like, you might think that's a red flag, but they kept dating.
Well,
And
also good for Neil for not panicking and
Yeah,
being like, oh my
true.
God, he didn't say it back. Like,
yeah.
I have to end this.
Yeah.
That's really secure of him to be like, I appreciate that he didn't
Yeah.
jump the gun.
I feel like most people would not keep dating.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of people. I don't know what I would do.
That is such a thing, though, that where people, I have one friend, I'm obviously not going to name names, but she was nervous for a while that her boyfriend would say, "I love you." And she's like, "I don't know if I'm ready yet." I hope that's not obvious. Her boyfriend would not be listening. Fine, like now they say it, but she was, it's such a big moment in a relationship. And if you're not ready to say it, you don't want to feel pressured to say it back.
You want it to be the right time, for sure. So that was all around 2004, and then in 2005, Neil got the role of Barney Stinson on the CBS show How I Met Your Mother, and they moved to Los Angeles. But I was thinking, oh my God, they just moved to New York. Crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes life is like that, though.
Big, that's a big break.
Yeah, big. It was very big. NPH said, "I assumed the show would be a short chapter. The plan was always to come back to New York when the show ended and raise our family. But the sitcom ran for 9 seasons and nearly 10 years. So they were out there for 10 years.
Very successful show.
Yeah, it was. It was huge. David actually appeared in 7 episodes of How I Met Your Mother as Scooter. And at this time, David and Neil's careers were in very different places. When they first met, they were kind of the same. Neil had been a child star, but now he was mostly just working on Broadway. David was on Broadway. They were basically in the same exact place. But now Neil is thriving on this show. He's one of the main characters.
He's like an A-list celebrity.
Yeah. And then David was actually struggling in LA because I think he's more of a theater actor, and he wasn't really getting roles.
Yeah, that's hard.
I know. And he's spoken, it's going to come up more later, but he's spoken pretty openly about this, how he would get jealous of Neil.
Yeah.
And it would be hard for him.
And it would be resentful probably a little bit at times because it's like, well, I'm living in LA, which is holding me back, but it's because of you and your job. Yeah.
And then Neil will sometimes come to him all excited about some news, some opportunity he got, and then David's happy for him, but then it makes him feel bad.
Yeah.
So that kind of started.
Wait, so was Neil Patrick Harris at this point at the beginning of the show openly out or no? Okay.
No. So there's still a secret right now.
But do people, I'm guessing the castmates and stuff know, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
Especially by the time David was on the show. It was only 7 episodes, but that's an okay amount for a guest.
Yeah, I wonder if celebrities were better at keeping secrets like that back then without social media.
Probably. But it was after David Burtka was on How I Met Your Mother. 6 months after, apparently, allegations started arising that he had only gotten the part because of a romantic relationship with Neil.
What?
And speculation around the story eventually led to Neil acknowledging that he was gay in a
Wasn't
cover
he
story.
just a guest star? Like, who cares
I
why
know.
you got the part in the first place?
So a lot of the speculation was actually led by Perez Hilton.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say
How
that.
did you know?
Because he outed like everybody back then. He was such a tyrant.
I know. Who himself is gay, too.
Yes.
And Perez was posting a lot about Neil at the time. And Neil actually said about this, there was an interview in 2006 that claimed that I was asked if I was gay and that my publicist had said that I was not of that persuasion. That was the weird catalyst tipping point because that expression set Perez Hilton off. He was offended by that and started posting about me and asking people to come forward with truths or stories. Then it became apparent that I needed to make some sort of decisive, respectable move. So then he was kind of forced to... I mean, he didn't have to, but...
Yeah.
Perez was basically asking, like, if anyone has any information about Neil Patrick Harris, give it to me.
I wonder why Perez Hilton was doing all that as a gay person himself. Like, maybe it comes from a place of, like, wanting to see your sexuality, like, more mainstream and represented in Hollywood. But it's like he was acting like he was getting people in trouble. Mm-hmm. It's so weird.
Well, that's what Neil said. Like, he thinks that Perez does... He didn't like the phrase, Neil's not of that persuasion.
Yes.
And he probably felt like, this Neil Patrick Harris guy's living a lie, like, I know, maybe it insults him in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's right, but he thought it was insulting that these famous people were pretending to be straight.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just wanted it out there, but obviously not his place. But in the early 2000s, I don't think people would have even questioned Perez doing this.
Maybe some people did. But yeah.
But I feel like it was common to just...
Yeah, the 2000s was really homophobic.
It was. But yeah, he came out in People magazine and it was a huge cover story. He said, I'm happy to dispel any rumors or misconceptions, and I'm quite proud to say that I'm a very content gay man living my life to the fullest and feel most fortunate to be working with wonderful people in the business I love.
Wow. Honestly, people who came out in the 2000s or the 90s, it really paved the way for so many people now. I think they do not get enough credit because, like I said, it was still very homophobic back then, the culture, and it was such a different environment. Now I feel like people can come out like left and right, and it's still like...
It's still hard.
But it was such a bigger deal back then. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be talked about on... late night TV or talk shows and stuff. And it would be the fact that it would be on the cover of a magazine. Mm-hmm. And it was so brave, and it normalized it for so many people. Like, oh, I watch that guy on TV all the time. Like Ellen. That's why I'm never going to really hate Ellen, because I think it really normalized it for so many people.
I mean, we only have one history. Like, we don't know what would have happened without them.
Exactly. They paved the way.
They really did. And there was a lot of fear that this would ruin his career. I mean, people were writing about this a lot, like, oh, is this going to ruin Patrick Harris's career? But actually kind of the opposite happened. I think people were surprised, or they were impressed to realize, like you said earlier, that he was so good at playing a ladies' man.
Yeah, it was like shocking that he was gay.
And I know that seems homophobic, and it is, but... that was actually a really important thing that happened, that people could put that together in their head. Like, wait, someone actually can be a great actor and play whoever they need to play. They can play a straight person and be gay, and, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, it's like being gay wouldn't typecast you to just being, like, a gay character. Mm-hmm. And I feel like back then, gay characters, unfortunately, were, like, usually... really offensive or
really
stereotypical.
Yeah. Yep.
Never the main character, unfortunately.
Nope. Yeah, so he would continue to get starring roles, even though all the articles were guessing that he wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the media is weird that way.
I know, yeah.
They, like, expect the worst.
Yeah, I feel like they really did that with Miley. They always expected her to, like, have a full-on downward spiral, and it never totally happened.
I know. So in 2007, David proposed, and Neil wrote about this. He said, David first proposed to me 5 years ago. So this is in the future when he wrote it, obviously, but on an actual street corner where we met.
Oh,
I know.
what? That's so cute.
They're so cute that way. We were on our way to an event at an Indian casino 45 minutes out of town in a limousine, and David wanted to stop for some reason, and I didn't quite get it. I thought he wanted to get booze or something, and then he was out on one knee and proposed, and I was so freaked out by it that I said yes, but I didn't know what it meant. Then I got the ring and loved it, and a year later, on Valentine's Day, I proposed to him in Santa Monica. That was 4 years ago. The callus on my right hand is long formed and not from masturbation. I'm dying to move over to the other hand. I'd also like to call him my husband. I'm not the biggest fan of the word partner. It either means that we ran a business together or we're cowboys. Boyfriend seems fleeting, like maybe we met 2 weeks ago. I've been saying better half for as long as I've been able to. I think that's a little self-deprecating and clearly defines that we're in a relationship, but it would be nice to say my husband.
I totally get what he means by that. Yeah. See, I know, like, I feel like it's more common to use partner now because it's gender neutral.
Yes.
But like I feel like back in the day, the word partner had the implication that like people said partner because they didn't want people to know that it was a same-sex relationship.
It was kind of hiding who you're with.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it could mean business partner.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, creative partner. Mel and I are
creative partners.
I know that I understand it's good to have a gender neutral term and we do need one, but I wish there was another one.
Yeah. Well,
because I myself
significant other, I guess.
I know, but it's so long.
I know, it is long. They should abbreviate it.
The English language really needs to come up with a new one because like I work for a company and I still hear the word partner all the time in the business sense. And it does get kind of confusing and it just doesn't sound romantic to me.
It's not that romantic. It is kind of a
sounds really formal. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like very sanitized in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish we just had like another cute word. I think significant other is really cute, but it is just long.
And some like soulmate, dramatic.
Yeah. You can say SO, but it's not that mainstream. And it's abbreviated.
Yeah. Lover is like, you're not going to say like to people at work, like, oh yeah, me and my lover went to the movies over the weekend.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Because that makes you think of like
there
sex
does
right
need
away.
to be an alternative gender neutral term for a significant other. That's cute. Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually Googling this because they say this all the time. This has come up in so many articles. They always say I think also because, all right, this was 2007. Like, it wasn't even legal for them to get married. And so it meant so much to them to be able to say husband.
Yeah.
That was really important to them. So they still say this all the time, though. It's like, my husband, I want to say husband.
Yeah.
I don't like saying partners. So, but I was Googling it. What's another term? And I actually came across some people asking the same question on the internet because like they wanted to use a gender neutral term but they didn't want to use partner, and I don't know, some people say like just my person.
Oh yeah, person is cute. But I guess like
it's also a little,
your person isn't necessarily romantic.
That's true.
It could be your partner. Your person could be your mom. But I guess spouse. What do you think of
spouse?
The
but you have to be married.
Yeah, exactly.
Spouse. Yeah, I mean I sometimes use the word spouse, but
yeah, there's no word for a non-married, gender-neutral, significant other that is cute
and easy to say.
Yeah, that's a shame. But I think as a culture, we could come up with one. I feel like we're inventing words all the time.
Let's try to come up with one. Not too corny or anything.
Like a slang. Like I feel like we could. Yeah. It could be something that has evolved from another word. Like I feel like we could take something with significant other.
I know.
Like a ciggy.
Siggy.
I don't know. I think that's cigarette, actually. Yeah. We'll think about it. Yeah, maybe ChatGPT could come up with some options.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I was also thinking of, in terms of engagements, I like that with queer couples, there's not as much expectations on one person to propose. I mean, a woman could propose to a man in a straight relationship, but it doesn't often happen. And I think it is still very much stigmatized.
Yeah.
Because there's a stereotype that like men are afraid of commitment. So
I know. It's cute that they both proposed too.
yeah.
So also,
What if one said no? The second one.
Wait, hang on. We're already engaged, aren't we?
Yeah. Okay. This second proposal has a lot less pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, Neil. What the heck? September 2007, they made their very first appearance as a couple on the red carpet at the Emmys, where Neil was nominated. Big deal. Big deal back then.
Yeah.
2008, really sadly, David's mother, Deborah, passed away, and this really sent David into a depression. He, as I said, didn't feel fulfilled by his acting career, and he felt lost in LA, and he was just so devastated about his mom. But from this time, he actually, I don't think it started quite yet, but he decided to become a chef.
Wow. I actually didn't know that.
I didn't know it either.
I knew they had a cook, like he had cookbooks, but I didn't know he was a cook.
Yeah, in 2008, he enrolled in the Cordon Bleu in Los Angeles culinary school. So he was taking a new path. I think that's really great. You know, he was like, you know what? Acting is not making me happy right now. I'm in a really hard place. I'm going to try something new and try something that I like. And so
I love that at any age, people can just totally reinvent themselves.
Yeah, you can. Don't forget, people. Also in 2008, of course.
Twilight came out?
Yes, but Neil was on Howard Stern.
Oh.
When do we not have someone open up on Howard Stern? Well, sometimes we don't, but a lot of times that's where we get the good stuff from Howard Stern. And I couldn't access the actual whole interview, but I read some summaries, and he talked about how he dated Christine Taylor from 1997 to 1998. And she is known for playing Marsha Brady in the Brady Bunch movie and the Nickelodeon show Hey Dude. And he said about her, she's the coolest, nicest chick ever. She's an absolute catch. And I thought, if I'm not going to feel the super sparks with her, it probably means I'm gay.
Oh. Did he feel feelings for men otherwise?
I don't know if he said.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. He talks a little more about this later on. 2009, Neil hosted both the Tonys and the Emmys. He's a host.
Wow. Yeah.
That guy hosts.
It's a lot of pressure. We've talked about this. People are so hard in the hosts.
I know.
Of
They're
those shows.
so hard.
It's ridiculous.
They can never be happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like usually I'm like, that was fine.
Yeah. I've never, maybe once, have watched a show and I'm like, that the hosting job was terrible.
Who?
I don't remember. Like maybe once, but
I actually, okay, people might like throw tomatoes at me for saying this, and I don't know how I'd feel now, but when I was younger, I loved the Seth MacFarlane one.
me too. I couldn't believe people were so pissed about it.
I had a great time. I loved it.
I really
The
did
Oscars,
too.
yeah.
It's crazy people were so pressed about it.
And I didn't even mind the James Franco Anne Hathaway one. I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, people like once a year, especially when it comes to the Oscars, for some reason they act like it's the most important job in the whole world.
I know, like president or something.
Yes, they act like, okay, they have to lead our nation for 4 hours.
Chill.
They're all they do is
an
like
award show.
they make a little jokes and they
know.
help us transition from
Yeah.
presenter to presenter. It's not a huge deal, and
Yeah.
people act like it makes or breaks the whole show.
I know.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. That will happen.
But
to
he's
Neil, too.
oh, will it?
Well, I don't think it overall affected him too much.
Yeah.
Career-wise, but yeah. So, also around then, David graduated from Le Cordon Bleu and began running a catering company in LA. And he still has been doing some acting things, but I feel like that's perfect for him because he loves hosting parties.
Yeah, that's so
And
fun.
I was thinking, oh, it's interesting he didn't open a restaurant, but then I thought, wait, he loves hosting parties, like probably catering. It's a different occasion every time.
Yeah.
You can really customize it. Maybe he gets involved in the decorations. I don't know. But, I think he loves hosting parties, and
That's so fun.
it sounds perfect for him. In 2010, October 2010, David and Neil welcomed 2 fraternal twins born by a surrogate. The twins are Gideon and Harper, a boy and girl, were born in 2010. So I feel like it kind of seemingly came out of nowhere, but sometimes that happens with surrogate. Yeah, so it's 2 embryos, and interestingly, it's one of them is David's and one of them is Neil's.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, that is so cool.
I know.
And they have the same surrogate?
Same, yeah.
Was the surrogate who delivered them the biological mom?
I don't think she was. I think it was just an egg donor.
I think that makes it easier,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, Gideon was named after Gideon Rubin, an artist they both really liked. And Harper is named after Harper Lee, author of To Kill a Mockingbird. And it's interesting because they decided they didn't want to know which one was each of theirs.
But you can figure it out.
I think now you can really tell, too.
Yeah.
You can tell which one is Neil's and which one's David's just by the eyes.
Wow,
and
that must have been
everything.
interesting,
Yeah.
like, piecing it together.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how soon they were like, oh, yeah, that's the
I know.
one. Yeah.
They're so cute. They're adorable.
Oh, my God. Wait,
gosh.
that is so cool.
And obviously, at this point, they can't talk yet, but when they can, they call Neil Papa and David Dad. It's cute.
Oh, Papa. That's so cute.
Yeah, I saw some cooking video with David and the kids, and they were like, you mentioned like Papa this, blah, blah. And then he was like, who's Papa? I said, Neil Patrick Harris.
That's so
Yeah.
cute.
But they're still engaged here. They're still planning to get married, but they're not yet. I think they wanted it to be, recognized by the state. And then June 2011, New York Senate passed the marriage equality bill, and Neil and David publicly announced their engagement for the first time. So I guess we wouldn't have known they were engaged until now, but 5 years after the fact.
Wow.
And Neil tweeted, David and I did propose to each other, but over 5 years ago. We've been wearing engagement rings for ages, waiting for an available date.
Oh my gosh, it is so crazy how long it took.
It's crazy. It was only 2011.
I know.
Yeah. I remember I was in college when it happened nationally.
It's crazy. It was just codified like only last year or something.
Yeah. Crazy. October 2011. Okay. This is that fateful Halloween party that has gotten Neil and David in a lot of trouble recently.
You know what? I've never heard about it.
Really? Okay, cool.
So, not that much trouble.
I was saying to Mom, like, I'm worried people are going to be mad at us for even covering them because of this. Because people were really mad about this.
This is my first time hearing about it.
Maybe I feel like you're usually on top of this stuff. I'm surprised. Maybe as I keep talking, you'll remember. I don't know.
Okay.
But I will say, though, I went, because the way we research these a lot of the times is I go through the news through every single month.
Me too.
Through all the years.
Yes.
So you see all the news articles, or at least the top ones, but you can go through the pages if you need to, So I see everything. And when this happened, there was no news about it. Absolutely nobody wrote about it.
People got mad after the fact?
In 2022.
Oh my. You know what? That's on you guys for not getting mad back then. I hate that.
I know. I mean, it is bad, but...
Well, I don't know what they
I know.
did
I
yet.
have to tell you. Before you go off. I mean, there's a lot to discuss.
I'm like getting mad. I have no
Hang
idea.
on, you don't even know what you're defending yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to say that back then, that you do just have to keep in mind where they were thinking at the time.
Well, I hate when people get mad 10 years later because
Yeah.
it's like if you weren't mad back then that means whatever they did
Yes,
was socially acceptable, so they
Yes.
didn't know better.
I really think that anyone at that party, if they did have a problem with it, no one said I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing that happened was that Neil and David had a Halloween party with a buffet. And at the party, they served a meat platter in the shape of Amy Winehouse's body just 3 months after she had died.
Oh.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh, I thought you were recognizing it. A lot of people thought it was a cake, but it was actually a meat platter. It was
Is there pictures of this?
There are, and it's actually very disturbing. It's made out of beef ribs, pulled pork, and chicken sausage, which is disgusting. And the way that it resurfaced was because Jesse Tyler Ferguson, do you know him?
Yes, Modern Family.
He was on Modern Family, the show, and him and his now husband. I know, is it really creepy?
Okay, that is really bad.
I know.
Wait, but is that definitely Amy Winehouse?
Wait.
Oh,
hang on. I'm not there yet. The reason this resurfaced is because Jesse Tyler Ferguson and his now husband, Justin Mikita, another Justin. See, I was getting confused. They were guests at the party, and Justin posted a picture of it to his Twitter. And Justin tweeted, "Look who showed up last night looking good." So obviously Justin thought it was funny or no big deal.
10 years later he posted it?
No, he posted it back then.
Oh, back then.
So that's how in 2022 it came out again, because some person went way back in Justin Mikita, I don't know how to say his last name, went back in Jesse Tyler Ferguson's husband's Twitter and found it.
Wait, it is actually really bad. It says, there's a tag next to it that says the corpse of Amy Winehouse. And it looks like it's like almost like a decomposing body.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's meat, like, do people actually eat that meat?
I guess so.
That is really disturbing.
It is
I
wicked
actually
disturbing.
cannot defend that.
I know. But okay, I think it's wicked bad, but I do think it doesn't look anything like her.
No, it looks like the Bride of Frankenstein.
So I was wondering if maybe it doesn't make it right, but I feel like somebody, whether it was Neil, David, I don't know, after the fact was like, what if we made it Amy Winehouse?
Yeah.
And they put a cigarette in her mouth and then wrote that next to her. Because the face looks absolutely nothing like her. Like, it doesn't really, looks like they drew on it.
The hair is like really like, you know how Amy Winehouse had that big hairstyle, but it's short. It's like Marge Simpson hair.
Yeah. And the face is, I don't know, it's very disturbing. But also, I don't know why.
It does look like a decomposing body, though. It's disgusting.
So gross. It is really bad.
Some people try to be edgy with stuff like that.
I know.
I can't really defend that. That's really insensitive.
It is. I know. I was wondering, what were they thinking? Like, really, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't realize she died that long ago. That's crazy.
I know. I was trying to imagine how this happened.
And imagine being people love Amy Winehouse. Like, imagine being one of her loved ones.
I know.
That's awful.
I know. People did not respect her back then, though.
They didn't. That's the thing.
They really didn't.
I mean, I remember even after Whitney Houston died, like, my history teacher made a ton of jokes about it.
Wow.
Like, that month.
Yeah. It's really bad. So, yeah, this resurfaced in 2022. And Neil addressed it, and he said, I think to Entertainment Weekly, he said, "A photo recently resurfaced from a Halloween-themed party that my husband and I hosted 11 years ago. It was regrettable then, and it remains regrettable now. Amy Winehouse was a once-in-a-generation talent, and I'm sorry for any hurt this image caused."
Okay. I bet he is embarrassed.
I know.
I bet they do feel bad. Yeah. Ooh.
It is really bad. Very much in poor taste. But I was reading a lot about this and what people thought and reading comments and stuff. And I thought some people were getting a little carried away. Like, I saw some people even saying, like, there is something sinister about gay men or whatever. And
I hate when people, like, fuck up and then other people use it as an excuse to indulge in their bigotry that they already have.
I know. And this was on like faux moi, so I feel like these people thought they were like progressive or something, but
yeah.
I
I feel like that happened recently. Oh, like with Lizzo, like people, you know, like she's getting canceled, and then the vitriol that is being thrown her way is because people wanted a reason to hate her in the first place because she's a bigger woman.
Yeah.
And so they're like gleeful that they can like shit on her. And I feel like that's probably the same way with something like this.
I think the everyone calls it a cake, but it wasn't a cake, but I'll call it a cake anyway.
I almost feel like it'd be better if it was a cake.
I know, it would be a lot better. I don't know. It's more creepy than meat.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible, but I do think some people seemed really gleeful about it too. Like, way too excited about trashing him.
I do hate when people are excited, to be like, we got you. We found the thing that's wrong with you, and this is what it is. Like, and I mean, it's really, really bad.
I know.
There's really no way for me to defend that. But society was also really awful back then.
It was.
And people should have gotten mad about it back then. But I guess the guy who posted it wasn't that famous, so maybe it just slipped under the radar.
I know. But he obviously was okay with it.
That does make me, like, my stomach churn.
I know. I also wonder whose idea it was.
But do you think with Halloween, some people do get carried away?
People get very carried away.
And they try to push the envelope and they try to be edgy.
Back then.
Yeah. I think with Halloween, some people do try to be like as scary and creepy as possible.
Yeah.
And they miss the mark with that.
I know. Yeah, totally. But I was wondering, okay, was it Neil's idea?
Yeah.
What if it was David's idea?
I feel like that could really be a huge fight between a couple. Like, why did you do this?
Yeah, but I feel like Neil has to go down either way.
Oh, yeah.
Because even if it was David's idea, like the only reason they are getting in trouble is because of how famous Neil is.
So true. Yeah.
So it's kind of his responsibility to go down for this.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, I doubt it was just one person's idea.
But honestly, I didn't hear about it. Maybe I just... I think they got away with it because this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how many people have heard about it. But it's kind of like so recently, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have been in a lot of hot water.
Yes.
And we don't have to get into that, but it just reminded me of how you were saying to me the other day off the mic. You were saying, if you're going to get canceled, it's kind of best case scenario to get canceled with your spouse.
Exactly. Like, yeah, we're not getting into like what they did. It was pretty bad, but at least they're going down together. They can, I bet that's bonding. Yeah. And I feel like if one of them was canceled, the other one might feel pressure to leave them or denounce them, or they might be mad at them.
Yes.
I bet it makes them closer, unless one of them is like, you told me to write the letter.
Yeah, that's true. That's possible. That's what I was wondering.
But
like,
they do seem united.
The Harry Potter was your idea.
Yeah. I feel like getting canceled would be a huge stress on a relationship. So
definitely.
It is nice that they both are in it together. And it would be hard to find somebody else right now. So
yeah, I know. It was really bad. Guys, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But we've covered people that did much worse on this show.
Yeah, we actually have. So I kind of tend to agree with you, though, that it really doesn't look like Amy Winehouse. That I almost feel like someone at the party or something could have even been like, oh, what if we made this like really distasteful joke?
Yeah, or maybe like the day of the party, like maybe before it started. And like, because it doesn't look, they didn't do a good job making it like Amy Winehouse.
It doesn't look like anything like her. It's just, I feel like maybe they're trying to be edgy, but it really is distasteful and insensitive.
I'm just shaking my head, but that doesn't translate to audio. I'm just ashamed. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. But the show must go on. That same year, Back to Happy. No, but this is when they started their tradition of dressing up the whole family. And they do this every single year ever since then. And this is when the kids are only one. And they always do a theme and the whole family does it. So this year the theme was Peter Pan.
Oh, cute.
David Burtka was Peter. Neil Patrick Harris was Captain Hook.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know?
I'm just guessing.
Oh.
I bet one was Tinkerbell.
Yes, Harper was Tinkerbell and Gideon was John, I think.
That's the
Gideon.
worst one probably to
John.
be.
Yeah.
Like if I saw someone dressed up as John by
He
themselves.
had, I mean, together it makes sense, but alone he would just have glasses and a nightgown.
Yeah.
So kind of random. November 2011. I thought this was kind of timely, but unrelated to that Halloween incident. Neil talked to E! News at a gala for the LA Gay and Lesbian Center, and he said that him and David are not gay role models. And he said, I go out of my way to not be soapbox Johnny. We're super happy to lead by example, but even to define ourselves in any kind of leadership position I think is awkward. I cringe when I hear people say they consider themselves role models. David agreed and said, we don't really do anything. We take care of our kids. We're in a relationship. We love each other, but we don't go out of the way to stand on a soapbox like Neil said.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
given the whole Amy Winehouse thing.
Well,
yeah.
at this point, that was
yeah,
not
true.
a news story yet.
That's true.
But I thought it was timely because it was a year later.
Yeah. Well, they know they're not perfect, clearly. But yeah, but I mean, that's also a lot of pressure. I feel like because there's not, that's the thing, because there's not that many openly gay, high profile couples, it does put a lot of pressure on the most famous ones
I know.
that other
does.
couples don't have.
It does. I have another bad thing that Neil did. Should I share it?
Yeah.
Okay. Neil. Okay, on Live with Kelly.
Uh-oh.
And guys, excuse my language, I'm quoting here.
Uh-oh.
Neil used the word tranny because he inhaled some sulfur hexafluoride, which is helium's evil twin, during a science experiment that made his voice sound lower.
What?
And then I guess when it came back, when the gas expired, he said, I've never sounded more like a tranny in my life.
He said that on live TV.
Yeah. But then Neil apologized for saying it, and the GLAAD, Gay and Lesbian Alliance
Got
Against
mad.
Defamation, accepted the apology
Oh.
and said, it's heartening to see a celebrity of Harris's stature recognize and apologize for using the slur in such a timely manner and for a greater media attention being paid to its use. Many people do not realize that the word, excuse me guys, but tranny is one of the most hurtful and dehumanizing slurs that transgender people hear. Most
Yes.
transgender people associate that word with personal experiences of violence, hatred, and derision. And it's crazy because at that time, might not seem that long ago, but it seems like people didn't even know that word was like offensive, because at the end of the article it said GLAAD versus Glee. Is tranny a bad word?
Wait, did they use that word on Glee?
I guess so.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, I feel like Glee was weirdly homophobic.
I know.
For some
Even though it
reason.
was also very pro-gay.
Yeah.
But at the same time. Yeah. So that was a very weird time in culture. And it was crazy that at the end of the article, they were like, is it a bad word?
Yeah. Wait, sorry. I should say Glee was transphobic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I always knew it was a bad word, but maybe that's revisionist history on my part.
I don't know.
Gosh.
Yeah. Neil.
Neil. Well, you know what? I think that's good that his apology was appreciated. I think that's doesn't happen enough, so.
Yeah. I think he learned.
Wow, but that's crazy that he just said it so casually on daytime TV. Ooh.
He's raunchy.
But do you think, like, never mind.
What?
I was going to
I
say,
can always cut it out.
like, as a member of the LGBTQ community, he might have felt more comfortable to say it because he feels like,
Probably.
oh, like, we're all, like, in a similar community,
Yeah, maybe.
you know?
I feel like you do see that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. 2012, January 2012, that Out magazine article that I keep referring to, it was a very long article. Neil wrote more about their relationship, and I thought it was pretty open and interesting. He said, if we have a fault, it's probably over communication. When I'm cranky, I'm admittedly cranky. When I'm in a hurry and distracted, I can't act like it's any other way. And he's good with that too. So we talk things out. I don't want to paint a relationship like we met. It's been happy family fantasticness ever since. What defines a relationship is the work that's involved to maintain it, and it's constantly changing. Sometimes I'm deeply in love with David and head over heels, and sometimes I question whether it's going to work out and is meant to be. It's like a business relationship as well as personal one. We have a business together, and that's maintaining our love for one another.
Oh, that's sweet. It kind of reminds me of the Obamas.
Yeah, me too. Made me think of that too. I think that's really, really open to say that.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate hearing that.
Yeah, the honesty.
'Cause
It's hard work.
Yeah, but also I feel like sometimes people act like if you ever have doubt or like if you ever think, I don't know, then that means like you should leave. But I'm sure if you have relationships that are really long, that's gonna happen.
Oh,
And,
100%.
you know, as they say, like thoughts can come and go. Like you don't have to be attached to all your thoughts. And as long as you are happy, that then you make the decision to stay together. Like it seems like he is.
Yeah, but also you're not going to be happy in every time in your life, and there might be
Yeah.
times where something else is going on in your life, and then
Yeah.
that makes you doubt, like, oh, is it the relationship? I mean, if you're together with someone that long, odds are you're not going to be madly in love the whole time.
Yeah. So I appreciate him saying that. David and Neil created a short-lived TV series called Neil's Puppet Dreams, which was a puppet show.
Oh wow, never heard of it.
I know. And then that Halloween in 2012, the theme was Wizard of Oz.
Okay, let me guess who everyone was. Neil, I'm going to say, was the Tin Man.
Yes.
Really? And
Yeah.
David was the Scarecrow?
Yeah. How did you
And
get
I
that?
don't know. And then I bet the baby boy was the lion.
Yeah.
And I bet the girl was Dorothy.
You're right. Oh my gosh,
Wow.
Mel.
Oh my
Mel's
God.
really good at guessing these. Oh my God. That's so, you know, they do the family thing, but then they also they do the adult thing, and they went to Katy Perry's Halloween birthday party. And we have mentioned this party before because Kristen Stewart was there.
Yes.
I think we mentioned it in the Katy Perry episode.
Wait, was that the one when John Mayer was there
Yeah.
too? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
And
come up.
Neil and David were there too.
Oh my God, this party.
I know. February 2013, the National Enquirer, who cares what they think, but the National Enquirer ran a story that claimed that David and Neil had called off their wedding date. I feel like nobody trusts the National Enquirer anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he felt compelled to do this, but Neil tweeted, the National Enquirer is cray-cray. We've never had a wedding date, just engaged, Prop 8 and all. We're on a cruise as I write. He's rad, all good.
He's rad, all good. Yeah, I feel like that almost like exposes like some sense of insecurity
I know.
with the fame.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
People
It's weird.
being able to write whatever they want about you. Are they still not married?
Not yet.
Wow.
Still not married. Then June 2013, to celebrate turning 40, Neil, David, and the kids went to Disneyland together, and it seems like they really like Disney and they go a lot.
I can see that. You know what? It is funny. I feel like there is a strong correlation between people who really like Halloween and people who really like Disney.
Actually, I agree with you.
Isn't it
I
weird?
can think of some people like that.
Huge overlap.
Yeah, and they love spooky stuff.
yeah.
And Disney.
huge overlap.
Why is that?
I know. I wondered. Someone should do a
magic.
thesis on that.
Yeah, the dressing up, the magic.
Yeah,
I
being
don't know.
somebody else, getting
Yeah.
the make believe. I think it's definitely a personality type.
They love the make believe.
Mm-hmm.
Neil hosts the Tonys for the 4th time.
Wow.
2013. He's hosting Pro. Halloween 2013. It's Halloween again. We do like every Halloween, by the way.
Okay, good. I like the guessing. Keep giving me the theme.
Okay. For the twins preschool carnival, they dress the kids as Alice in Wonderland. Oh, I already gave it away. As Alice in Wonderland and the White Rabbit. I can't remember which one was which. And the dads were Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Cute.
Sorry, I kind of gave it away.
No, that's
But
okay. We'll do the next one.
Next one. 2013, Neil was on HuffPost Live, interviewed by an Australian journalist about his sexuality. Of course. I feel like we always get Australian journalists asking the uncomfortable questions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play a clip.
I have to ask you about being one of the first openly gay stars. What was that experience like?
How do you mean?
What led you to do that? Was it just a logical, obvious thing for you to do? And why do you think more people didn't do it?
Oh, well, the second question is a big, giant answer. I mean, there's a tricky one to answer. For me, I fell in love with a dude and started spending all my time with him. And therefore, you don't want to be suppressive of that. And so as I started working more with more frequently, with more eyes on us, I figured that was inevitability, and the opposite would be, again, suppressive. And we found ourselves going to movie premieres and then wondering well, what is that? So you'll go around the other side of I'll go down the red carpet by myself. But if we go down the red carpet together, then are we making some sort of statement by doing so? And I didn't want to disrespect David on either direction. I didn't want to make David feel like he didn't exist in my life. And at the same time, I didn't want David's identity to be the guy that's dating me. So it's a very individual thing, I think we live now in a time where people seem less concerned about who you're effing and, more importantly, who you fall in love with. It's not quite such a freak show kind of aberration.
Certainly in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think to the second part of your question, why don't more people do it? I mean, that's an easy thing to say, but if you're struggling with any of that yourself, you can't just go oh, okay, and then do it. It's little baby steps of acceptance in your own personal sphere, and then you have to choose the times that feel right to you to make moves, and those moves could be for various reasons. So I think it's a super individual thing.
What do you make of people outing other people? I mean, Lance Bass recently made a little bit of news by saying that he knows, obviously, other celebrities who are closeted, and he has to sort of lie in order to keep them in the closet, to keep their cover. I presume that you know other people who we don't know about.
Well, I'm a magician, so I'm really good at lying without letting you know I'm doing so.
But what do you make of people who out other people?
Well, it just depends on the context, I guess, right? You're never gonna wanna say anything to freak people out. You don't want to say anything to prove a point. I don't think doing it in sort of an exploitive way makes any sense. Again, I just feel like that whole world is very personal, and so to nudge. I think it's not a good idea.
I mean, there are certain people who For example, last week, Gorka supposedly outed Shepard Smith, this Fox News host. Now, I didn't know that there was any closet around him. I just always assumed that everybody knew that he was gay, a bit like Anderson Cooper or something. But
again, with those people, you're choosing to watch them feed you information. Their job is for you to gain information from them. So from their point of view, I can totally understand why you wouldn't want people who may have a bias against you if they know more about your personal life to be watching the news that you're giving and already thinking that you're slanting it in a specific way. That's the other person's bias, not theirs, but I can understand why they wouldn't want to put their own personal world into that. So I can understand why they would not want to be doing that in that specific instance.
Yeah, I mean,
Anderson or something. Anderson tells the news.
Yeah.
He has conversations with people about newsworthy subjects. And so he understandably probably didn't want people to know a lot about him because that's not his job, I don't want to know about Walter Cronkite's exploits. I want to watch Walter Cronkite read the news to me. You don't know what that means either. Bless your heart. He was a newscaster.
I know who Walter Cronkite is. Or was.
Oh my God, the way Neil Patrick Harris in the beginning is
I know.
He puts his head back. He's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
That would scare me. But this journalist didn't even seem fazed by it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But I do think it is a interesting question. It's interesting. It is a unique perspective that Neil Patrick Harris has, that he was one of the first openly gay, high-profile celebrities of the 2000s, and it is a fair question, I think. But
it's weird that the journalists seem to be saying, well, if we all know anyway, then what's so wrong about it? And he's like, well, you don't really know. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes sense too. Oh my God, Neil Patrick Harris, the way he speaks, people effing.
I know.
I wonder if that's what his character on How I Met Your Mother is like. That's what I thought.
He kind of is a little, but way more over the top. Mm-hmm. I watched some clips to prepare, and he's a lot more of a player, almost like a comedic Chuck Bass in a way. I mean, Chuck Bass is like darker, but he's always saying things like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to that girl," or I don't know. Mm-hmm. But he does have a little potty mouth. He's kind of
intimidating.
Yeah,
Patrick Harris.
He is. Something about him.
He's not going to smile to make you feel comfortable.
He seems friendly, but there is something intimidating about him. Yeah. I don't, and he's actually said that.
Oh, interesting.
He said people say I'm intimidating, and I don't know why.
He does seem it.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous meeting him.
I know. David seems really nice, though. You'll see him in a second. But in 2013, they went out to dinner with Elton John for Elton's birthday.
I love Elton John.
Just cool that they're friends. But weirdly, a few months later, there was a picture of Neil, Elton. Okay, I feel like really gossipy for sharing this. I feel like I'm like in People magazine or something. Picture of Neil, Elton, Elton's husband David Furnish, and David Burtka taking a group picture. And in the back, you can see David Furnish is touching Neil's butt.
That's cute.
David Furnish.
Oh, David Furnish.
Elton John's husband.
Oh.
Is touching Neil's butt.
What? Are you going to show me the picture?
Yeah, and then from the front, Neil looks very serious. He's not smiling.
How can you see the back of the picture?
Let me show you. I have to find it. I have a folder of them.
Were there multiple angles?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that is disrespectful.
It's crazy.
That is bad.
I don't know what the deal is.
Maybe he was confused about whose butt it was.
Okay. This is from the front.
Okay.
That's David Furnish.
Elton's husband.
And then here's Neil, Elton, obviously, and then there's David Burtka.
Elton doesn't look that happy either.
I know. And then, so then from the back.
Oh my God. Wait, he's touching Neil's butt.
He's touching Neil's butt.
And that's a grab.
Yeah.
He's
cupping it.
Yeah. Ooh.
What's the deal? And then this is a picture
Neil looks
from the
pissed.
Front. Yeah, Neil does not look happy.
But it's really weird. Felt like I'm standing next to Elton John, a legend. I cannot accuse his husband of just like grabbing my ass right now.
I know it's just a picture, but David Furnish looks a little creepy. Like his smile, just knowing that he's smiling so big and then doing that.
That is creepy.
But here's the weird thing. They hang out with Elton and David Furnish many times after this.
Oh.
So I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a joking thing.
Maybe. Very weird.
Interesting.
Does David Burtka know about this?
Well, we know about it.
So he probably does. Yeah, I was shocked. That was also near the end of my research. You know how you almost sometimes miss things?
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I'm not sure what's going on there. In 2014, okay, remember I kept mixing up David Burtka with Justin Bartha?
Is there a reason?
Well, one time they were both at this, all three of them were at the Stand Up to Cancer event, and they posted pictures together.
Oh, sweet.
I don't have it with me, but Justin I was like, wow, okay, here is Justin Bartha with David Burtka. This is what I've been waiting for.
I need to look up Justin Bartha.
It's just because of their names.
They don't look alike?
No, I don't think they look alike. I mean, they both have brown hair.
Yeah, well, you know I'm bad with faces.
But it's purely the last name. Anyway, March 2014, the family finally moves back to New York. They bought a townhouse in Harlem. Neil returned to Broadway in Hedwig and the Angry Itch. And about their Harlem townhouse, they did a video for Architectural Digest. I think this was a little later, but taking them through the house. It's a very charming brownstone, and they have a lot of art. I know. And David said, okay, this is where I got the eclectic thing from, because their house is very quirky. Lots of interesting objects and art and collectibles and weird things. And David said he'd been doing taxidermy lessons. Weird. Maybe the cake was his idea.
Yeah, that's a little telling.
Because they had some taxidermy. They had a lot of quirky things, like look at this type of things, like a little peephole in the wall with a 3D diorama inside. It was actually really cute. They had a flip book on the wall that's of the family. They had an old phonograph. It seemed like they probably really enjoy going to antique stores together. It's a bit crowded. It's a bit cluttered in there, but I relate. I mean, I kind of live like that too. A lot of custom art of their kids.
Oh,
like
that's
tons.
Sweet.
Their staircase
I need to see
covered in
this.
pictures.
Yeah.
Completely covered. Yeah. It's cute. And all their Halloween pictures are on the wall.
Oh,
it's really cute. This place is full of all their art and stuff. Like, you know, some celebrities, their houses are really minimal.
Like white.
Yeah. No, this place is like, there's a sculpture here. There's a quirky little thing here. There's this thing. Like, there's so much stuff.
I do have appreciation for maximalism.
Me too. I thought it was really refreshing. And it's really cute how much they have of their kids on the walls. Like, you can tell they love them. They talk about them all the time. It seems like they're really good dads.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. One of Neil's most prized possessions is one of the stretching portraits from the Disney's Haunted Mansion. I guess he got it at a auction.
Oh, wow.
And he was very particular about it. He's like, it's my prized possession. No one's allowed to touch it. He has like a little barrier thing in front of it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, okay, he's very type A. Like he likes his things, you know.
Yeah.
I relate. May 2014, Neil was on the cover of Rolling Stone, naked with just a top hat covering his junk.
Ooh.
Which is pretty scandalous. I think it was because he was in Hedwig and the Angry Itch. It's, you know, it's kind of a raunchy play. 2014, they were both on Oprah, and they talked about previously dating women. I thought I would share this clip.
Yeah, I'd love to hear their voices together.
What word do you all use?
Fiance, usually, or
Because you can't use the word husband.
I just think partner's the strangest word.
Yes?
yeah.
Because I meet grown businessmen, and he's like, this is my partner, Jim. And I don't know if they're in business together,
right.
or if they're a gay couple,
Or they're cowboys.
Yeah.
You stole my punchline. How dare you?
Did you ever at any point, because I've read that you both have dated women, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good times.
And good times.
Yeah.
Were you, explain that to me, because, you know, I have a gay friend who said that the only way he could have sex with a woman if a man's picture was on the headboard.
Wow.
So
That's classy.
So, did you go out? Did you date?
I dated a fair amount. I didn't really feel like I'm a liar and I'm gay and I'm doing this and I wish I wasn't, but I did feel like it wasn't clicking like it was supposed to, and I kept wondering, maybe it was me, was it
By dating,
art?
I mean you actually like had sex with girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Oh, yeah. So did you think you were bisexual, or is there such a
No,
thing?
I think, you know, with the Kinsey scale, I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Of course I am. I've done the Oprah show. Hello.
The what? Touche. Wait a second here. No, but I think there is a ranging scale of sexuality.
Yes.
And I think you can go to one side or another.
So tell me, would you have come out when you came out had it not been for Perez Hilton? Did he?
Well, probably not that at the
At that
specific
time.
day.
Yeah.
But I certainly felt it was an inevitability
Yeah.
at that time. We would go to How I Met Your Mother events together.
Right.
And everyone knew David and that we were a couple, so I wasn't hiding anything. But it was just never a big announcement that I was needing to make. However, I felt like at a certain point, red carpet things became complicated. Because I'd go down the red carpet. If I went down the red carpet and he didn't go with me, it looked like a slight to him.
Right.
And if we went down the red carpet together, then it looked like we were making some sort of announcement. And so it just always felt a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
And isn't it interesting? Once you actually came out, it was like a non-starter. Like you're one of the few actors who's been able to come out and absolutely nothing happened to your career? Everybody's so afraid of making that announcement or letting people know.
I think only positively, honestly.
Yeah.
It allowed me to live more full body and not feel like I was going to be exposed. I was kind of exposed. And you asked about the Perez Hilton question earlier, and I think the reason that I made the statement when I did was because he was the catalyst, because what he had done was posted a request for anyone that had ever any scandalous stories or had slept with me or whatever to come forward and talk about it so that it would out me. And I didn't want to have to make that statement about my sexuality in response to a scandal. And I think by doing so, I ended up being able to stand a little bit taller, and that transparency and authenticity was kind of appreciated.
Interesting. They were all barefoot in this clip for some reason.
Maybe that just made them feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's funny.
And Neil was sitting with his legs crossed.
That was funny when Oprah was like, "Of course I've heard about it." Some people believe that Oprah and Gail.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors. No,
She denied it.
Yeah, I think that they're just best friends. But
Oprah really went there, too.
she really did. I mean, that was a great question. Would you have come out at that time if it weren't for Perez Hilton?
Yeah.
And the red carpet thing is really, I like that he talked about that, because it seems like something that's kind of silly, like walking down the red carpet, but it's like, that's something that other couples don't need to worry about.
Yeah.
And it does seem like maybe it's a slight to someone that's like, okay, we're deliberately arriving here separately.
Go see you
and
later.
We're hiding something. I feel like that would make a relationship feel less real in a way.
Yeah, that would be sad. And that he's hiding David from the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, it's kind of surprising Oprah asked those questions, but I feel like they just rolled with it.
Yeah, he definitely was a lot more open than with that Australian interviewer. He was, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Yeah. And she asked if they've had sex with women.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she was like, were you bisexual? But it's like, again, like Oprah has the respect from celebrities that like they're not going to push back on it.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. It is interesting that they dated women. And it seems like they enjoyed it, but just like it never really clicked in that way. Yeah, sometimes I've wondered, because like I have gone on a lot of dates with a lot of different men, and often it doesn't click for me as easily as it does for, it seems, other people. And like I've been very picky, and then that has made me wonder, like, what if I'm not straight? Because I'm not as into, there have been some boys I've been crazy into.
Yeah, you have.
But I never feel feelings for women. But I do wonder, in like their explanation of this, like, did they still feel attraction for men? Because I always hear those stories from people where they're like, I realized I was gay because it just didn't click with the opposite
I feel like
sex.
they're just not saying it for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. That's probably way too
there's no
open for me to say.
but I feel like there's no way that that's it.
Yeah.
That they just felt like it was, they must.
But sometimes I do hear explanations from people that sound like that, and I'm like, wait, but did you feel attraction otherwise?
Well, I don't know about David Burtka, but
Yeah.
I didn't include it in this, but Neil did say that he knew he was gay from a younger age.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or at least that he was attracted to men. I don't know if that means he wasn't attracted to women, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I do think that Kinsey scale thing is interesting.
I don't know enough about that.
I don't remember the direction, but it's kind of like, wait, I feel like I should look it up.
You explained this to me one time, though, that like fluidity, that like fluidity and sexuality is a lot like taste buds, where it's like you, when you're young or something, you might be like, I don't like spicy foods, but like that, it's not like that is a stagnant thing that someone might always.
I said that?
Yeah, you explained it to me.
Wow.
I was like, wow. Because I was explaining that to my parents, because when back, I feel like 10 years ago, sexuality, the narrative was like, oh, you're born this way, which I think
You're
is
one or the other.
Yeah, like it's something that you're born with. And then I was like explaining to my dad recently, oh, now it's more about fluidity. So like you might feel one way, and then 10 years later, it might evolve in some way.
Well, that's like some people who maybe dated people of one gender for a long time, and then they seemingly like switch, and people wonder was
Were
that
you
a
lying?
lie?
Yeah.
And people will often insist, like, no, they weren't, and that they still are attracted to men or women or whatever. But
People do that with
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
They like, okay, my neighbor, this neighbor, every time he walks up those stairs, it's like he has to stomp. It's so weird. But yeah, but also not anybody's place to be like, you were lying.
I know. Okay, obviously this is just a measurement, a tool that people have created. All these things are not like innate, it's just a tool someone created. But the Kinsey scale it's 0 to 6. 0 is strictly heterosexual, 100% heterosexual, and then 6 is exclusively homosexual.
Oh.
And so then 1 would be like, this is what it says on the website. It says predominantly heterosexual, only incidentally homosexual. And then it moves up to more than incidentally, 3 equally, 4 mostly queer but more than incidentally heterosexual. So people say it's like a scale. Like some people are
It's very
mostly
simplified version.
Yeah.
So they're somewhere. They're saying that they're somewhere on the scale. That they're not like on one side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they were saying. Also, in this Oprah interview, they talked about the comparison of their careers, and David said that sometimes Neil's recognition and success does put him through a shame spiral, but then that is what inspired him to become a chef. And David said, I do a lot of things not great, but parenting is what he's best at. And he said that they share everything, even clothes, but
Sweet.
not underwear.
Okay. Yeah.
And I laughed about that. David said that he's more maternal than Neil, and Neil agreed. And
Yeah. I don't get maternal from Neil.
And Neil said that he struggled at first parenting the few months, but he says he feels like, and now the kids are older, but he said he feels like his strength will be more like talking with the kids and stuff, that he doesn't have that like maternal instinct where if the baby's crying that he knows what to do, or David's better at that apparently. Oprah asked if they want more kids. Such a aunt type of thing to say.
I know.
And Neil says, oh, don't start with this question, David. And then David says, I want a ton of kids.
Oh, David's sweet.
I know. And he says, I was told you aren't really a family until your kids outnumber you.
What?
I know.
It's been a while though. I wonder if they will
know.
have kids. I think the surrogacy process is probably
know.
very hard though.
If I had to guess, I don't think they will.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice they had twins.
Oprah even had their parents on
Oh, wow.
the show and asked them about, it was very much about, their sons being gay and how did they feel. And David's dad, it was actually so sad because, David's mom has passed away.
Yeah.
David's dad started crying.
Oh.
And said that, he said, the one thing I regret most in my life is that his mother didn't see where David is in his life and didn't meet his kids. He said that apparently David said, you're never going to see my kids, Ma. We're going to have kids. You're never going to see my kids.
Oh my God, that breaks my heart.
I know.
Well, I believe and hope that she still gets to see them.
I know. It was really sad. And all the parents, I mean, people get canceled for saying this now, but all the parents were like, at first I really struggled and I didn't get it and the lifestyle and whatever, but then they came around.
I think it's important for them to openly admit that though, because
gives you hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Even people that are really uncomfortable with it were able to do a 180.
Yeah.
Again, 2014, there were rumors that David and Neil had split. I don't even know where the rumors came from. I couldn't find the source, but Neil disputed them again. I don't know. But they'd been engaged for 8 years at this point.
Wow.
But finally, September 2014, they were finally married in a small ceremony in Italy.
Oh, when I asked you earlier, I thought you meant not yet now.
Oh,
okay.
Yes, they did get married in 2014. And apparently they were officiated by the How I Met Your Mother director, Pamela Fryman, and Elton John performed live at the reception.
Oh.
They had been waiting a long time for this. I think it definitely meant a lot to them. was a big deal. And I was laughing about this the other day. Their wedding invitations were so over the top.
I knew you were going to say that.
I couldn't even believe it. So basically there were like clues. There was going to be during the wedding weekend, everybody had some kind of task and there were clues leading to what they had to do. And I don't know all the details because they didn't share all the details, so I don't really know what it all means, but basically everybody was sent a wine crate with herbs and rosemary and a candle and bottle of wine, bread, and a message in a bottle with a disc drive.
Oh my God.
That you could play. And it was like Lost, like the TV show Lost.
That's so
with
funny.
a cryptic message of clues. And people had to figure out where the wedding was from the clues.
I'm just picturing them like in their very cluttered home, sitting there like laughing to each other, like, okay, how can we make this even better?
I know.
That's so funny.
I couldn't. Message in a bottle with a disc drive in the bottle. I don't even know how that works.
How do you get that out? You have to smash it?
I was just cracking up.
so
And I guess
funny.
like at the weekend, the wedding weekend in Italy, there were all these clues within pictures and objects for people to solve. It was very interactive.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You have to rely on your guests being enthusiastic to participate, though. I hate when people
I
show
know.
up and they're like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
It was a pretty small wedding, so I think they hopefully knew that people were going to be into it. But yeah, that made me laugh. October, Halloween again. The family dressed as iconic actors.
Oh, I'm not going to
hard.
guess this.
Yeah, Neil was Charlie Chaplin. David was Groucho Marx. Harper was Marilyn Monroe.
Ooh.
I know. She was actually so cute. It was so cute to see this like little Marilyn Monroe. And Gideon was James Dean. Also so cute. And the kids are just adorable. I don't know how they sound now, but Harper had this little accent. Like she didn't pronounce her R's. I thought it was so cute.
Oh. They're probably teenagers now, right?
Yeah, they are.
Wow.
2015, Neil hosted the Oscars. Wow, he's such a host. People said this show was largely forgettable.
Who cares?
I know. Besides the moment when he presented Injustice Tidy Whities, which is supposed to be a Birdman reference.
Oh, okay. Timestamp.
Yep. Okay, 2015 Halloween. The whole family dressed as Star Wars characters.
Okay, I'm going to guess Neil Patrick Harris was Luke Skywalker. No. I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to guess that the baby boy was Luke Skywalker and the girl was Leia, and that David was Chewbacca, and that Neil was Han Solo. Oh, Darth Vader, actually.
Okay, David was Han Solo. And I think Neil was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, no one's Chewbacca?
No one was Chewbacca.
Okay.
Yeah. Good guesses, though. Halloween comes again, 2016. The whole family dressed as Batman characters.
Okay, I'm gonna guess the baby boy was Batman, and that the girl
got it.
I got it, and that the girl was Batgirl, and
Actually not sure.
okay, can't tell what she is.
Yeah. She has like a little cape. Maybe that's Batgirl.
Maybe that is Batgirl. Wait.
Wait.
And then David is Robin, and Neil is the Joker.
David is the Joker. Neil is... I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with the Batman.
Quizler or
Okay,
something? What's
okay.
his name?
Riddler?
Oh, the Riddler.
Yeah. The Quizler. Keep it in. Wait, do you mind if I could take a bathroom
Oh,
break?
yeah. Let's take a break. All right, we're back.
We're back.
18 Halloween. The family all dressed up as ghosts.
Okay,
So there's,
cute.
there's no
Classic.
guessing really with that one. In 2019, online in publications, there was like this big debate about whether straight people should play queer people in film and TV. And Neil surprised a lot of people in the Times. the UK Times saying, I think there's something sexy about casting a straight actor to play a gay role if they're willing to invest a lot into it. And he also said, in our world that we live in, you can't really, as a director, demand that an actor be gay or straight. Who's to determine how gay someone is? I played a character for 9 years who was nothing like me. I would definitely want to hire the best actor.
Yeah, I mean, I really do know where people are coming from with that argument, but it would be weird for people to have to disclose their sexuality before taking a job.
Seems unethical.
Yeah.
I think illegal.
Yeah, I think it probably is. And like that would force people to come out if they weren't already. It would be so weird if like you weren't publicly defining your sexuality for the whole world and then people got mad at you because you had a role, and what if you were like, well, actually I am bi or something. Like it would just be
I don't know.
not.
Yeah, I feel like there isn't really a way to verify it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were surprised he said that. Also in 2019, David published his first cookbook, Life is a Party. They love to party. Halloween, the family dressed as famous artists.
Picasso, Van Gogh. That's all I got. Oh, no?
No.
Who?
Neil was Van Gogh.
Oh, well, I said that. But no Picasso.
Oh, what you said? What did you say?
Picasso, Van Gogh.
Oh, I didn't know you said Van Gogh.
But
no Picasso. No Picasso. David was Salvador Dali.
Okay.
Harper was Frida Kahlo.
I was going to say that.
And Gideon was Andy Warhol.
Oh, that's a good one.
Halloween 2020. The family dressed as characters from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay. One is Willy Wonka. I'm going to say that's David. One is the grandpa. I'm going to say that's Neil. One is Violet, would be the daughter. And the son is Charlie.
You got almost everything right.
Besides the grandpa.
Yes. So Gideon was Charlie. Harper was Violet. David was Willy Wonka. And then Neil was, I can't remember what this character's name is. He seemed a little creepy, but I think he turned out to be a good guy. He wore a little like bowler hat and had glasses and whispered in the kid's ears.
Oh yeah, what was his deal? He seems like a bad guy, but he's like not.
He was kind of creepy.
I forgot. He was like a spy or something?
But that's who Neil was.
Oh.
That guy.
That is a really like niche character to do.
Quirky.
That doesn't stand alone.
I know. I guess if they're all standing together.
Like if you saw the Willy Wonka, you'd be like, that's Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Charlie wouldn't really stand alone either, but
I
Violet
know.
probably
He's holding
would.
the golden ticket. I don't know.
I'm guessing they based it off of the classic.
Yes, the classic. Yes. In 2021, David and Neil were on the podcast Double Date with Marlo Thomas and Phil Donahue. I thought they were super open on this podcast. They're talking about open marriages and how a lot of guys they know do have open relationships, but that they felt like they couldn't do it. And it was funny. David was saying, I would have a tracker on his phone. Like I would be losing it. And it thought it was cute. And they were just saying it wasn't for them. And
That's cute.
But they were super open. They were saying that in the first 3 years of their relationship, their sex life was amazing. But then they have to, try to keep the spark and stuff.
Yeah,
but
be inventive.
Yeah. And I also was like, wow, amazed at how open they were being. Especially talking about monogamy and just the fact that they brought that up, that some people do that. And yeah, but it's cute. And I relate to the jealousy.
Oh yeah, me too.
So I appreciated that.
I would definitely have a tracker on someone's phone.
Halloween 2021. We're back to Halloween. This time they dressed as classic horror movie characters.
Should I guess?
If you can.
Okay, I'm gonna say like It. No. Okay, this is too hard. I don't watch horror films.
I know. Neil was Patrick Bateman. David was Jack from The Shining.
Okay.
Harper was the girl from The Exorcist. And Gideon was Chucky.
Oh, cute.
I know. Very creepy though.
Yeah.
Very creepy. April 2022, it was their 18-year anniversary of their first date, and on Instagram, David made a post about it and explained why they honor it every year. He said, "We always celebrate the first date because for 7 years of our relationship, it was against the law to get married. Neil Patrick Harris, I love you over and over again, year after year. Thanks for working so hard and for putting up with me. Here's to another 18. And then Neil shared a picture of them hugging and gazing into each other's eyes, and he wrote, "Our first date was 18 years ago today, and David Burtka, I am not about to let you go. Thank you for showing me the capacity of my heart."
Yeah, that's sweet.
Very sweet.
Yeah, the anniversary, it's weird because like for some couples, I feel like it's when they were exclusive, and then for some, it's the first date. For some, it might be even the first time they met.
Oh yeah, that's too early.
Well, what if they went on a date like the next day?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
If sparks immediately flew.
Yeah, like if they met at a bar and gave each other
Yeah.
a number. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
And
cute.
some people totally disregard that.
Just do
anniversary
wedding.
marriage. Yeah.
I know. Do you think it's okay or too over the top to celebrate multiple days?
Depends on how long you dated for before you got married. Like my parents only dated for 6 months, so they don't celebrate their dating anniversary. But
I would want to. I don't like how it's almost wiped clean. Because then they're like, oh, it's our second anniversary.
yeah, exactly.
What?
Oh my god, did you see our cousin Julie? Sorry, this you guys don't care. She's been married for 9 years.
Really?
Today.
Oh, wow.
That feels like it was just yesterday.
Next year, 10 years.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I was first like, oh, that must be their dating anniversary.
Yeah.
It's their wedding anniversary.
Congratulations, Julie.
Julie and George. Yeah. This one's for you.
Random. Halloween 2022. The family dressed as fast food characters.
Oh, that is so cute.
I know. I love this. And, okay, speaking of, do you still have your French fry shirt?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I love that shirt.
And I have a burger shirt too.
Oh, nice.
And a hot dog
I saw
one.
a picture of it the other day. I was looking at pictures and I was like, I haven't seen that shirt in a while.
I think.
Take it out.
Wait, I think I do. It was probably at home in
Yeah, it's
Massachusetts.
a summer thing. Well, wait, it was summer. Whatever. They dressed as fast food characters. Do you want to guess?
Okay, I'm going to guess David was Ronald McDonald and Neil was Burger King. And I feel like I don't know any other fast food characters, though. Are there like multiple? Is like one like the Hamburglar?
That is a...
Oh, and Wendy. The daughter is Wendy.
You were right for those three. You were totally right. Neil was Burger King. David was Ronald McDonald. Harper was Wendy. And then Gideon was Colonel Sanders from KFC.
Oh, that's cute.
It was really cute. I like that idea.
Yeah. Wait, that's a really clever
I know.
concept.
So now we're almost at Halloween 2023. What will they be?
Oh my gosh.
We don't know yet.
I'm excited to see.
I'm
This
anxiously awaiting.
This is going to be like my new Met Gala every year. What are they going to be? I wonder what they call themselves as a family. Do you know?
I think Burtka Harris.
Burtka Harris.
Wait, let
yeah.
me make sure.
I was thinking Patrick would be in there, but that's his middle
Oh,
name.
yeah. It's Burtka Harris.
Burtka Harris. The Burtka Harris family.
Yeah. The kids will be 13 soon, so
Sometimes kids at that age
know.
just don't want to.
that's what I was wondering. Like, are they still gonna want to dress up with their dads?
Oh,
I don't know.
I hope they
It'll break
do.
my heart if they don't.
Oh my god!
I'm sure this is a discussion they've been having.
Kids get embarrassed
I
at that
know.
age. Oh, come on, kids! You're
It's
gonna
so cute.
You're gonna want, like, when you look back, to have done that
I know.
throughout your whole childhood. That's so special.
I hope even if they do stop someday, maybe they'll start again.
Yeah.
'Cause that's really cute.
Yeah.
So special.
Kids at that age, they're like, I just want to do my own thing with
Yeah.
my friends. Well, why am I saying, like, their parents are celebrities?
Maybe they would still do the picture and then do their own thing with their
Yeah,
friends.
probably.
Oh, imagine being a teenager and your dad's like, get in the outfit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I bet
We're doing this.
I bet the kids are
Yeah.
now involved in like what the concept is too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that must be
Yeah.
so fun. I bet they think about it all year.
I know. They're so into it.
Are they into other holidays too? Like, do they go big on?
They
The other
seemingly
things?
do go big on Christmas.
Yeah.
seems like they decorate a lot. And,
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Professionally, Neil was recently in the Netflix show Uncoupled. I haven't watched it, but it sounds interesting. And then David just joined an off-Broadway revival of the play God of Carnage in NYC. So he's acting in New York somewhere right now.
Maybe we'll run into them.
Maybe. I know. They live here. It's great. I mean, I think they have a house in California
Mm-hmm.
too, as people do. But yeah, and that's them. Can't wait to see what they are for Halloween.
I love that. That was such a cute couple.
They are really cute.
Controversial
Aside. Like some
Yeah.
controversies, but that's always tough because I found myself really wanting to like them, but I also did think that meat platter was so disturbing.
It is really disturbing. And I mean, it really goes to show, like, when you want to like someone otherwise, you are more like, ugh, how can I defend this?
I know.
You know?
I know. But I did like them more than I expected. And there have been some people I researched for this show that I thought I was really going to like, and then I didn't.
Who?
So, like F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
say. Like,
yeah.
he disappointed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still really enjoyed doing those episodes. Those were like some of my favorites. But it's just complicated when you cover humans. It
Exactly.
just gets complicated.
Now, who is our next couple? Give us a hint. This will be our Patreon episode.
Next Patreon episode is quite spooky. They are kind of gothic. They both are known for a dark vibe. And they're a modern couple.
I think I know.
Another modern couple. You think you know? All right. Well, I'm excited.
And if you don't already, give us a follow on Instagram. And every single week, we do guesses before the episode.
We tease.
One of these days, we'll do prizes.
Yeah, and we'll go back and find the. Look, we've had some people that always guess it. And
Yeah.
we're gonna give you a prize, but we're trying to make this show, bigger until then.
Yeah.
But we super appreciate everybody on Patreon and everybody listening. Thank you so much.
And we'll get back together next week.
We'll get back together next week.
Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me